Hello everyone, this is Mythonian, and welcome back to some more WarLight. Although I'm not going to be bringing you a game this time, this is sort of an announcement slash explanation video of sorts. Okay, well, recently myself and Kcscrag, my 2v2 partner, have become members. We have become members in WarLight. This means that we get a few perks, and this video is going to go over an explanation of what it means to be a member, the advantages, and everything that goes along with that, because this is going to change how games in the future will be, and a little bit of what we're going to be focusing on. Okay, that M just means that you're a member. You'll see that beside our name in all the games, and beside names of other players who are members. But if we go back to here, there's a membership tab right here, and this explains a lot of the benefits of being members. Okay, WarLight, once again, I've said this before, it's free to play. However, you can pay to become a member, and it unlocks a few features. However, as it explains in this nicely highlighted box, it's not going to give you a huge advantage and will not allow you to win games that you would otherwise not be able to win. It does not include additional armies, cards, or anything that would give members an advantage over free players. So it doesn't change your likelihood of winning. It merely may change a little bit of how you play and where you play. By that I mean these member benefits can adjust a little bit of what you do. Like, you can invite more people to a single game. This means you can get more friends into a single game and things like that, instead of having a whole lot of open spaces if you want to have larger games. Because before you could only invite 6 people at once, now up to 24. You can adjust how luck affects games. This is more of an advanced feature that deals with how likely you are to get the expected result from an attack. Like, the default offensive kill rate, as I've said before, is 60%. Well, you won't always get exactly 60%. The lower the luck is, though, the more it will be closer to the exact 60% number, and things like that. You'll see some games with no longer 75% luck. 75% luck is default, but we're going to be using some varying numbers now. We'll explain those more later on, probably. The ability to play in ladders. I'll explain this in just a minute. This is going to be one of the larger changes in terms of what we do, because we're going to be playing some ladder games now for a bit. Well, soon, not starting quite yet. Ability to create tournaments. Now, I've played in a good number of tournaments. I think I've won one or two maybe. In one right now with Markovian and Kcscrag, doing a 3v3 tournament. And the ability to use the statistics window, which I mentioned briefly before. I'll show you guys an example of that in a few minutes. Ability to control the move order in games you create. Now, normally, move order, that's like there's like a cycle where everyone gets their first moves that happen, and then everyone will get their second moves that happen, and the order that those moves happen is normally decided randomly, and then for the next cycle in that same turn, it's flipped. As in, the person who got their who in the first cycle went last, gets in the second cycle, they go first. It helps keep it a little bit balanced, but you can adjust things like that. There's a few different options that you can set it to make it work a little bit differently. Like, instead of going where the last person goes first the next time, you can have just cycle where the second person goes first, and then that second person goes first the third time, and it just cycles through like that, and things like that. It just minor adjustments to how the game is played. There's the ability to control the rounding mode in games you create. Now, this is like, let's say that if you attacked with so many guys and you were expected to kill 5.5. Well, if you kill 5.5, do you kill 5 or do you kill 6? Rounding order, rounding modes like that, you can set it to always round up, or you can set it to weighted random, which I believe is what it's expected to be, where, like, if it's a 1.8 kills, it has an 80% chance to round up and a 20% chance to round down because it's 1.8. That's weighted random, and there's other options like that you can use. The ability to use custom scenarios in games you create. Before, it was only you could do that in single player, now you can do it in both single and multiplayer. This allows you to customize the distributions, like where you can select territories if it's manual or automatic distribution, and things like that. It allows you to customize multiplayer games just a little bit more. Now, once again, you can play this game for free, or you can purchase a membership for $30. It's a lifetime membership though, so you never have to pay it again. And then, paying stuff down here. And, if you couldn't tell before, this was an indie game. This was made by a single person. In fact, if you can go to the About page, it talks about it, key features and things like that. And this was created by Fizzer, and it was just a hobby that he created in his spare time. And it's just, he did a really good job. This is an awesome game. It's constantly changing. He's constantly trying to improve it, and he's been doing a great job. But anyways, with the membership, with us now being members, we have the option to, well, in the community tab, there's the dashboard, and you get to see some interesting things down here. The ladders, you get 1v1 ladder, there's rankings and recent games. Seasonal ladder, season 4, rankings and recent games, and 2v2 ladder and recent games. Me and Kcscrag will be doing some 2v2 ladder games later on, and I'll do a few 1v1 ladder games. I don't know if I'm going to get into the seasonal ladder. I may wait until next season before I do anything of that. Haven't decided yet. But you can go to ladders here, and you can see a little bit about it. Right now, there's just those 3 ladders: 1v1, 2v2, and seasonal. They use different settings. Like the 1v1 ladder uses strategic 1v1 settings. 2v2 uses strategic 2v2. They're slightly different, but pretty much the same. And then the seasonal ladder uses different settings every 60-day season. So, a season is 60 days, and then they adjust the settings a bit to make the next season a little bit fresh and to make it different. I'm just going to give a brief description of the settings. Create game. You can go to built-in, scroll at the bottom, and you see strategic 2v2. Click customize so I can see the details. It's using the medium earth game type. Cancel that. Medium earth is the map, not game type. You get, it's 2 teams, obviously, of 2 people each, because it's 2v2. You can surrenders, no AIs, so you do not become an AI afterwards. Move order is determined randomly each turn, so this is not like cycles between each player like the other one that I was describing just a minute ago. It's normal distribution, but you choose your starting positions. This is not random distribution. This is not random automatic distribution where you don't get to choose where you start. You actually look at the territories on the map, choose I want to start here and here, and as you says down here, you only get 2 starting locations. So you only get 2 locations, but you can choose a few extra ones just in case someone else gets the choice that you wanted instead of you. The distribution of actual territories that you can choose, though, is something called random warlords distribution, where a single random territory from every single possible bonus on the map is allowed. And that means that there are 23 possibilities on the map. Now, since it is random warlords distribution, the options change every game. So, right now it may show this area right here. Next game it might be Brazil that you get to choose, or it might be Argentina that you get to choose. It's random in that bonus. But one territory in this bonus will be available for you to choose. You just don't know which one it's going to be until you start the game. On every territory that you start with, though, which there's only 2 of them, you get 4 armies. Okay, and all the neutral territories start with 2 armies, except the ones that are other warlords distribution. The other ones that no one chose, those start with 4. So it makes it a little bit slower to expand sometimes, makes you focus a little bit more on where you want to go. And one thing that really adds a aspect of making each game different than the one before it, and to prevent there from being a win-all strategy on this map, they added wastelands. Throughout the map, there are 5 wastelands, and these wastelands have 10 neutral armies on them. That means it's extremely hard to capture them. You have to attack with I think it was either 17 or 18 to get a guarantee win. Maybe even more, I don't remember. But that's a lot of armies that you're taking away from doing something else. And that means that it forces you to either seriously focus on that area if you want to expand there, or to expand elsewhere. And this, prevents some areas of the map from being too powerful and things like that. Going to the army settings, you can see that you get 5 armies per turn. This is pretty much the default. Even though you start with 4 on the territories you start with, you get 5 that you can play down per turn as a base reinforcement set. Your luck percentage is 16. This is different from the 75%. This 16 means that you're much more likely to get the expected result of 60%. However, you're not guaranteed, except for a specific few attacks. Like, normally if you attack with 4 armies against 2 defending armies, which is pretty standard to do in a lot of games when you're trying to expand, you are now guaranteed to win. 100% of the time you will win. The reason for that is that the 16% luck is not low enough for it to change that you are not going to kill 2, because you get a 60% kill rate. That means you're a little bit more likely, to kill like 2.5 or so, approximately. I'm not going to do that math really, but you're going to kill slightly more than 2. It's going to be 2 and a fraction. And that 60% luck is not enough to make it go all the way down to 1. It's impossible for it to go below 2. Or the rounding would go below 2. But that you can look it up and see more details about that if you want to, but it's not that hard to comprehend in a lot of ways. And also, if the enemy territory or the neutral territory only has a single army defending it, you can attack with 2 and be guaranteed to win. So it just makes it a little bit less random on whether you're going to win or not, and a little bit more certain on, okay, I'm going to expand here, and I'm actually going to get the territory instead of getting screwed over by the luck, or something like that. The kill rates are 60% and 70%, respectively. That's default. All the bonuses are default. And cards. Cards are another big difference between how we've played in the past and how the latter games are going to be. Reinforcement card, you get this in 8 pieces, meaning that every 4 turns, if we get a card every turn, because there's 2 of us, every 4 turns we'll get a card, a reinforcement card, and it only gives us 5 armies though. There's an order priority card in 12 pieces, meaning that we get it every 6 turns. Order priority makes it so that your first order occurs before your opponent's. This allows you, if you want to get a first move in, it allows you to get that pretty much guaranteed unless they also use an order priority. Order delay card is in 10 pieces, meaning you get this every 5 turns. This means that the orders after it happen after your opponent's. This allows you to get last moves in if you want to be the last one to attack or something. There's a gift card in 30 pieces. Now, as you can see here, you start with 15, but this is for each player. Since there's 2 people on a team, each of us get 15, meaning that we start with 30 pieces total, meaning we start with exactly 1 gift card. Now, this gift card allows you to give a territory and all the armies on that territory to another player. Now, this allows in some instances, you to take advantage of things and give your teammate a better position to do something. Takes us a bit to get used to this card though, because this card's pretty interesting. But since it is 30 pieces, then after that first one that we get, we won't get another one until turn 15, because each of us would need 15 pieces. And then the final card is a blockade card. Now this one, as you can see, is in 40 pieces. I mean, it's going to be a while until you get one, except you start with 28, which, may seem like a strange number, because it pretty much is a strange number. As you can see here, you start with 28 per player. That means that you get 56 pieces at the start per turn, per player. That means that you get a whole card plus 16 pieces of a second card, meaning that you need 24 more pieces. So if each person on the team gets a piece a turn, that's 12 turns before you can get a second card. So you get one on the first turn, and then on turn 12 you get another one, and then 20 turns later, so turn 32 would be when you get the third card. So basically you can expect to get two of these cards in most games, but you're pretty much never going to get a third card. And what this does is at the end of the turn, the territory that you use it on has its armies multiplied by 5. So if you have 10 armies there, it multiplies it up to 50 armies. However, the territory becomes neutral, meaning that what you do with this card is you completely block a passage. You can do this on a choke or something, and it prevents your enemy from going through there unless they want to commit a large amount of armies. This is great for positioning and zoning. The way this is used, though, can be quite iffy sometimes. One big advantage that you can do, if they're trying to capture a bonus, if you take one territory of the bonus and then blockade that with a decent amount of guys, they're never going to get that bonus. It's worse than a wasteland, because it just completely blocks that area. Okay, and then as you can see here, you can hold 7 cards before you have to get rid of some. That's just to prevent you from hoarding cards the entire game. And you get 5 per turn. 1 for blockade, 1 for gift, 1 for order delay, 1 for order priority, and then 1 for reinforcements. Okay, and then when you go to the next, I'm just going to add some open seats here. And then here, multi-day game. By default, these games in the ladder last for 3 days a turn. Now what this means is that these games will not be played in one sitting. What I will do when we record this is I'll record one turn, and then it'll be a bit until I record the next turn, at least for me. Now I'm going to edit this all together, so it's only in a video, maybe 3 videos, depending upon the length of the game, because we're going to be talking a lot of strategy every single turn, because this is ladder, and it's meant to be very strategic. And so this is not going to be something that we're going to be playing in a single sitting, and it might take like a week, 2 weeks, depending upon how often we can get the turns in, before we can actually put up a game. So don't expect these games very frequently. These games will take a lot of time to play, and some time to edit and all that stuff, but these games are going to be hopefully pretty fun and hopefully very strategic, which is what we're hoping for. We're going to explain a lot of the details of strategy and tactics and things like that. I'm not going to go over the 1v1 strategic at this point. It's pretty much the same. There are some minor differences, not really enough to worry about though. But yeah, and I'm not going to go over the seasonal settings right now, because they're going to change before I play them again. But yeah, so me and Kcscrag will be doing some 2v2s, both practicing for the ladder and eventually actually doing the ladder. We want to make sure we're used to the settings before you actually do it though, because all those little changes completely change how you play the game. You have to play it very differently than how we've been playing recently. That means that we're going to have to get used to it. So we're going to be doing some practice games. We'll record a few of them, and hope you guys will enjoy that. And then when we do some ladder games, you'll probably see us actually face some really, really strong opponents, because that's where a lot of the best players play at. So hopefully we don't get completely annihilated every single time, and hopefully we can have some fun, and hopefully you guys enjoy it a little bit at least.